Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 53 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today we are joined by special guest.
Hello. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's
Matt.
always great to have you, Matt.
You may know me, may not. I don't know.
He's a guy. He's been around a little bit.
He's been on the block.
Yeah.
He's done this little thing called ZWC.
It's all right.
It's
I like
a
the
thing.
jersey you got going there.
Oh yeah,
pretty
dude.
good.
You knew I had to rep the jersey for this episode.
Hell yeah.
We got a bunch of people in the chat. We got Yatu, we got Infernus, we got Turbo in the chat. Of course, Matt's in the
Ooh, the
chat
whole
as well.
squad's
Let's
out.
go. The whole chat. Yeah, everyone's here. The zombies community's showing up. That's what we love to see.
That's what we like to see.
Hell yeah. Well, also today in the United States, today is Independence Day. Happy 4th of July to everybody. This is definitely a great day to celebrate. And it's one way to celebrate it than to do the podcast today. So, yeah. I mean, I know Cosmic, you're in Scotland, so that's today's just any other day for you, basically.
It's a normal day. I can pretend. Don't worry.
There we go. You're an honorary American now
For today.
for the day.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It
but
expires.
man, I gotta say, ZWC, what a crazy event. I loved every minute of it. And before I jump into just your final thoughts about the event, I just gotta say, you guys rocked it. I mean, absolutely. You, Jose, everyone behind the scenes, you guys absolutely killed it this year. And yeah, it was just one of the greatest experiences ever.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it turned out really well. I mean, I think all in all, I'm like super thrilled with how it went. The team crushed it. You crushed it. It was a lot of fun. I think, I really haven't heard any negative or negative feedback or criticism whatsoever so far, which is probably a good thing. I'm sure there is things we could have improved on, but man, a lot of fun. Great time.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, the entire zombies community for that weekend just went absolutely crazy about everything that went on in the event, and just seeing all the pictures and seeing all the just videos being shared around of everyone having a great time. It's like, man, that's what it's about. It's about that community. This is a very tight knit community, and you love seeing that kind of stuff.
Honestly, obviously I'm stuck in the UK, so I couldn't actually attend it. But watching it reminded me of that Black Ops 3 zombies level hype, if you know what I mean. That golden period, just the hype and the community all being connected. That brought back them memories, like that nostalgia, and just watching it, I was like, man, I love being a part of this community. It brought back that spark that sometimes goes away a little, but it comes back, and it comes back like brighter than ever.
Because we were both there, Jason and I were both there, right? So for your perspective, watching the stream, how did it feel, like from a viewer perspective?
I was entertained from all of it. Like, obviously, since I'm in the UK as well, right? It happens quite late. Like, I was watching it. It was the final day, and it was like 3 a.m. and it was the Firebase challenge was starting, and I was like half asleep. I was like, oh, I got work in the morning, but I need to watch this. This is more important than work. But no, I think when something like takes sleep or watching this, and I choose this, is like
That's a good side, yeah.
It honestly, like, it was so entertaining. There's so many great moments in it as well. Like, I mean, there was the moment with Kingman. He did the little
clutch.
And
the flex. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was the voyage as well. Where it was him that did it with the pistol, wasn't it? He shot the zombie and got out of that really tight situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like moments like that. There was a bunch of moments like that, like from everyone, not just Kingman.
Right.
But
right.
Like it was just so great to watch. Like I think that you guys pretty much nailed it, like 100%.
Man, that feels good. Thank you. That's good to hear, because I did want to make sure that the experience for our viewer was also great. And I do agree with you. I think it was. I actually got a chance to sit in the audience and watch the Origins First Room Challenge for like 10 to 15 minutes, like just actually chill and watch the event. And it was entertaining. I was like, this is like exciting shit, Like, I'm not the most intense zombie player, and I haven't played in a while, but I'm like, man, I am invested in this game right now. So
yeah, that's
good to hear that also felt the same way for you, even from across the pond,
And I have to say as well, right? anyone red screened, right? You're like, oh, he's red screened, and like them intense moments as well got you on like the edge of your seat, and it was such a joy to watch. And I think like events like these can really show how far zombies can go as like an esport. And I don't think obviously Activision or Treyarch are ever going to give the game that much of a push to do that until maybe it's a standalone game. Who knows then? Anything's possible.
Right.
But community events like this really show the potential of zombies and how far it can really go.
Man, I've been saying it for a long, long time that zombies needs that its own, dedicated events like ZWC. And just because zombies is one of those types of game modes that requires so much skill and knowledge, and you have to be super well versed in everything, that it can be super entertaining to watch. It's like watching a speedrunner. These Super Mario 64 speedrunners or these old NES Mario speedrunners, they got everything down pat, and they know the very ins and outs, technicalities of the game. That's what zombies reminds me of too when you're doing an Easter egg speedrun or a round speedrun or something like that. So definitely going to be interesting to see where the whole competitive sphere of zombies goes, because Obey Undead actually signed Zombie Dog after the event.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, we're signing him as a competitive player. So it's like, okay, now more esports organizations are going to start paying more attention to it, which I really think they should.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see. Good for him, man. Congrats on that. That's what I'm saying. Like, another thing I was saying to some people in my stream was these events, like, give you a platform to put a name out there for yourself, Like Turbo last time. Excuse me real quick. Still getting over a little cough. These events give you, like, a platform, like a little bit of spotlight to get your name out there, whether it's a competitive player or an entertainer or like yourself, like a voice actor, a commentator, whatever it is, whatever your play is on the scene, your involvement is, like, you have you kind of get a little spotlight for being involved in these events, because there's a decent amount of exposure on them, not a huge amount, but enough that people are watching, and you can get your name out there and kind of get yourself started at these events, which is cool. And so congrats to Zombie Dog for now part of Obey. That's sick.
That is pretty sick. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people in the community now, they also, who is this guy? Like you were saying, who's this guy? Where did he come from? And now, now the whole community knows who they are, and they can definitely show them a little bit of love, especially like someone like Gen and Snipes, right? I don't think a whole lot of people in the community really knew who he was until ZWC3, and I mean, obviously he won the whole dang thing, which is impressive in and of itself. But yeah, I definitely agree. The exposure is definitely huge for everyone involved in the event, and it's such a great place to be too. Just working on the project with you guys, and just everyone behind the scenes at the arena as well. Like the directors, the showrunners, everyone, the audio, just everyone was super friendly on the crew, and that's what really makes a good experience as well. Everyone's gotta be super friendly, and it's just overall just a fantastic time. But a couple of things I wanted to ask you as well is, for some of the fans who might not know, obviously, because I know there were a lot of challenges, and I know there were a lot of people going, oh, maybe this challenge should have been, oh no, why is this challenge, So what was kind of the logic behind the challenges you guys chose for the main event for either ZWI or ZWC3 Championship Day? If you can give a little bit of the logic behind some of the challenges.
Yeah. So Danny, you guys probably know him as Infest. That's his like alias. But his name's Danny, and you guys met him at the event. But Danny's the guy who is running all of the tournament side of things for ZWC3. And props to him. He carried a unbelievable amount of work this time, getting everything figured out and set up. So he's the one who came up with the challenges for ZWI and ZWC finals initially. And I don't think they were bad challenges. We kept the ZWI challenges as they were, and I think they were, pretty fair. But in talking about it more, one of the things that I was concerned about with the ZWC3 finals challenges were that there was a couple Black Ops 4 ones. Like Tag Your Totem Gauntlet was one of them. Alpha Omega Easter Egg Run was one of them. And there was one, I think it was one Black Ops 3, 2 Cold War, and 2 Black Ops 4, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somewhere along those lines.
And my concern was that I didn't think that the experience for a viewer would be as good with those maps. And I know it's a competitive tournament and it's an esports tournament. That's what people are competing for here. And I know that it was also, by the time we announced the challenge updates, it was 1 week before the finals. We announced the Sunday before the championship, so they had 1 full week to switch over whichever they're practicing and practice new challenges, which was obviously not the best move. Truth be told, we were talking about changing them for at least a week before we actually announced them. We just couldn't come to a conclusion on which ones we would include and which ones we wouldn't. Danny, he had strong reasons for why the ones he picked were good, as far as like competitive nature and RNG and he took poll from all of the finalists and all of the YouTube competitors, like to really take in the people competing to see like what would be truly good challenges to do. And that's what he came up with. That was that. And there's also logistics of like the actual event. If you have 3 different games, you have to have every player with a console or a PC that can play all 3 different games and all the DLC.
Right.
And one thing that I will note that people may not realize, Esports Arena doesn't have all these games and all the DLC on every console or every
Very
PC.
true.
Yeah.
So that's a factor. And we also knew that Black Ops 3 could be hacked on PC. Like you could crash the games at any moment.
Yeah.
So you're now realizing like, okay, there is a ton of things you have to figure out just to pick each challenge. Like it can't be Black Ops 3 PC for fear of it being crashed, or all players have to bring their console, which means we have to have at least 16 consoles with 3 different games with 4 DLC or whatever DLC for each game.
Yeah.
That's already a chore in itself. Then you got to pick good challenges that have low RNG, all the players want to play, is competitive, is challenging, and it's fun to watch. You quickly realize, hey, there might be, 30, 40 maps to choose from, but there ain't a whole lot that fit in that basket of criteria.
Definitely.
It really gets dwindled down quickly. So Danny picked the ones he thought were best that fit all of the criteria. But I was like, man, the thing that's really lacking to me is the viewership, is the entertainment aspect. If I'm a casual player watching this tournament, right? Because yes, it is a competitive tournament, but not all the people watching are hardcore players. They're not all hardcore competitors. Like a lot of people coming out to this are casual players or really love the lore or the story of the game, but they don't know how to speed run the game. Like those are very different communities within the same zombies niche. So I was like, people that watch this may not want to watch something like a tag gauntlet because they have no clue what's going on, haven't ever done it, don't care really. And it's also not a map that I think a ton of people really loved, right? It's not as, from a numbers perspective, it's not as popular as a Black Ops 3 map. When you, like you were saying, the highlight era of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
zombies.
Absolutely.
So I was like, man, it pains me to have to be that guy, but I think the balance here is unfortunately really, really skewed in favor of the competitors, and there's only 16 of them. There's thousands of people that will watch this. We need to cater to everyone a little bit better. And so for that reason, I was like, can we change Alpha Omega and Tagged or Toten to be either Cold War or Black Ops 3? That also eliminates having to have one extra game in there. I know Black Ops 3 is going to be an issue with the PC, so let's make sure everyone knows they got to bring their console. They got to figure it out ahead of time. But I think everyone who's coming has Black Ops 3 on a console. Everyone does.
Absolutely.
That's what you were playing it on. You weren't playing Black Ops 3 on a PC. Not when you first had it, at least.
Yeah.
So we went back and forth on a handful of different challenges, and I think one of the things that has to be addressed is, I think Chopper got a lot of flack for
that was going to
giving
be my
his
next
input.
question. Yeah.
It has to be addressed. He got a lot of flack he did give me his input. He did. Yes, he said, yo, I think these challenges would be good. And yes, he did say, I don't want to play Black Ops 4. But this was after we already said we need to change the challenges. Like,
so
I already told him,
no, yeah.
It didn't influence anything. I was like, I don't want to have these challenges either. Danny was doing all of that, and I came in and said, hey, like, I respect all of your opinion, and look, can we find a way to make everything in our criteria board a little bit better? And Danny didn't have a whole lot of options, but after talking to Chopper and Greg, actually I talked to Greg first, they gave me a couple of the same challenges. One of them was the Origins First Room, which we had previously used in ZWC2, And I know that one went really well because it was one of the online competition challenges, and that was super competitive. So I was like, that to me is a slam dunk. Let's put that in there. I think Origins obviously is a huge fan favorite map. Yes, there is a bit of RNG with what gun you pull, but I don't think ultimately it makes yes, it makes a difference, but I don't think it's like game changing difference. You can still get a top 3 spot within MP40 if you play a great game, right? So that was one of them, and then we also we changed a couple of things around. We did Outbreak Easter egg, we did Die Machine. Sorry, I can't get it right. Die Machine Easter egg, I think, is one we changed to from the Alpha Omega Easter egg.
Yeah.
And that's what it ended up being. I mean, we went to 2 Black Ops 3 maps. Fortunately, the players there were able to figure out how to not get hacked during the game for the championship, which was thank God, because I was really unfortunate that happened. And that's kind of what went into it. But I Chopper getting flack for that was unnecessary, and I made that clear as I could to people that were calling him out in our Discord and publicly, because he doesn't deserve that. It wasn't his choice. And if we had kept it Black Ops 4 and he didn't want to play, he didn't have to play.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. I mean, I can't, I'm not going to change the whole tournament for one person. But at the same time, like, I do need to, as the, executive producer, creator, whatever you want to call it, of the event, I need to make sure we're, like, adhering to everyone and making it best for everyone. And not just people competing. And I understand that it was shitty to change it on, a week before the event. And I apologize for the hours people have put in to practice the other challenges we had. And that was never my intention, but you have to understand their thing. And I'm sure this will come up in another question, but I can just kind of hit on it now. There are really, and I'm not trying to get any sympathy here by any means, but this is just how it is. Realistically, when it comes down to it, the people that were working on this 6 months leading up to it were Jose, myself, and Danny. And there were a lot of other people involved, like Turbo was involved, Jason was involved. We had all kinds of YouTubers helping out, promoting it, odds and ends, all kinds of different stuff. People behind the scenes, like there's a guy, Damon, who hasn't even been brought up. He was like instrumental in making the event happen at Allied.
Wow.
All these people helped, but the people that were on it day in and day out, me, Jose, and Danny. And then Allied a lot of the time too, because they were a part of it, huge part of it, partner this time. But really, the people that put in a lot of the work were me. 3 people. It's 3 people. And so when you're trying to, like, this is just a competitive tournament on Sunday. That's all we talked about in the last 10 minutes. And you see how many, like, logistical issues there might be.
Yeah.
There are so many other things to take care of on top of that it's like,
very true. It's
very hard to get all of that done with 3 people who also have full-time jobs. Nonetheless, this is not our full-time job.
Yeah.
We can't, like, I'll say it now. We haven't made any money on these events. We haven't. That's the hard truth. I've lost money on these events. So this is not a full-time job for me. It's very hard to do all that kind of stuff with 3 people in a timely manner and do it well. So that's why the changing the challenges took longer than it should have. And again, I apologize for people that spend their time practicing it, but I think ultimately it ended up working out okay. So that's the long story on that one.
Well, number one, great insight and great input into what happened behind the scenes, because I know there are a ton of people in the community that really were upset about everything that happened, and they were very vehement about it as well. They were just so outspoken and really just, especially someone like Chopper. I'm glad that Chopper situation, right here, right now, clarified, put that shit to rest, because I agree. Chopper didn't deserve that kind of hate. And so I'm glad that you were able to provide that kind of insight, because there are definitely a lot of things that people don't know behind the scenes. And, it's not enough just to be like, hey, by the way, I want to just do the event at this place and that's it. There's so many other things involved.
There's so much more that goes into it.
The custom merch, I'm sure that was a lot of work behind the scenes as well to get that going.
Yeah, I kind of tackled that one this time. That was a lot of my doing, which is why I was so passionate about it this time.
I mean, number one, I said it during the live streams as well. This is some of the most comfortable, merch, one of the most comfortable jerseys I've ever worn in my life. And, it's a great, excellent quality. So there's a lot of things. Logistics, guys are such an important part of everything. You know, you really only see the tip of the iceberg when you see the finished product, because there's so much talent and so much hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that go behind all these events. You know, that's why, you know, you see, I guess, for example, you go to a movie and you say, oh yeah, you know, pretty movie with, you know, graphics and special effects, that looks great, you know. But the manpower behind something like that is absolutely insane. And the littlest things that you wouldn't have even thought of go into making that, because logistics, no matter what you're doing in life, you will deal with logistics. Doesn't matter if, you know, you're a YouTuber, you're, you know, content creator, you're a chef, you're an Uber driver, whatever it is, you know, you are going to deal with logistics. And once again, you know, I really appreciate that insight, Matt, because that definitely, I would think, clears up most of the community's, I would say, for lack of a better term, again, grievances in a way, because, like I said, a lot of people were very upset about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand the frustration. I will say, you know, having a week to really process everything that's happened. If there's anything I'm disappointed in, it was the some of the comments that we were getting in, like, publicly on Discord or on Twitter. I mean, there's always people that are gonna hate, but it definitely doesn't sit very nice with me when you have people that are, you know, kind of openly bashing the event. Especially when they're, you know, involved. Like if they're a winner, if they're a competitor that's won online competition and they're being flown out to LA and they're staying in Vegas, or to Vegas, and staying in Vegas for the whole weekend for free, and they're winning money, and they're being, you know, got custom jersey. Like, it's hard for me to be like, man, we've given you this opportunity and you're sitting there and bashing us because we had to change the challenges a week before the event. You have a full week to practice five challenges.
I think it's not unfair. Like, they all have a week, you know? Like, it's not unfair in any way. Like, they all have that week to learn the new challenges.
Exactly. I mean, it would have been an issue if we had told someone before the rest of them and they had more time to practice. Then it'd be like, okay, that's unfair. But it's not the best situation, but it's not unfair. Exactly. Yeah. Right. If anything, I think people that had it worse were the guys in ZWI, because now they have, you know, they had 9 challenges. If they win ZWI, they got to practice 9 challenges, assuming they make it to the finals, right? If they wanted to play. Yeah. And that's also a very small part of the reason why kept No Man's Land and a similar Firebase Z challenge from ZWI in the finals.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, if you're a ZWI competitor, you have a severe disadvantage, like a huge disadvantage. If you win Friday, you have basically 1 day to prep for the challenges on Sunday.
Yeah.
And you're going against like 8 of the best players in the world. So like, good luck on that. So I was like, you know what, let's try to make it so that 2 of the challenges are very similar. So that way it's a little bit less insane for them to have to like figure out all these challenges to do. So
I see.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just, you know, taking a look at the chat. Number one, the chat is saying the merch is fire. I mean, obviously the merch is great.
I agree with that.
We got Magna Collider in the chat saying, I respect and thank Matt, Jose, and everyone involved to make this event happen. You guys deserve no hate, fair criticism, maybe, but not hate.
Absolutely, no hate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I love the criticism, because I'll be honest with you, after the first ZWC, you know, there was plenty of words being thrown around, but I didn't just shut it out or ignore it. I was like, I didn't even censor it. I'm like, yo, I made a form. It was like, here's where you can put all of your feedback. Please be like constructive, and, you know, let's get somewhere with what the issues are. Instead of just bashing us openly, just tell us what was bad and what you think could be better. And I went through every single one that filled that out, and we improved on every single thing that was noted in there. And that's why this third event was, as, you know, I think, as successful and as good as it was, because we actually took the criticism from the first 2 and tried to improve on those things specifically for the third one, the second and third one. And that's why I got better, because that's what you need to do. That you need to have the, you know, the failures and the criticism and the
improve over time.
Understand what didn't go well and how to make it better for the next time. Always open to that, but do it, you know, if you're going to give that criticism, do it in a way that's productive, you know, not throwing hate. And this time, like I said, I haven't heard, I literally have not heard a single thing as far as really hate post ZWC or even criticism. But then again, I also said I'm not doing it again, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Well, there you go. We've got Chavez in the chat, obviously one of the guys that participated. He said seeing ZWC2 and ZWC3, there were overall big improvements. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to talk about just the upgrade in the venue as well. Just this huge, super high tech esports arena that I believe you were mentioning. Jose went to visit the arena like back in 2020, like sometime before,
I think
like
August.
way before August. Wow.
August of last year. It's almost a year since we first visited and started planning on it.
Wow. I mean, that's the amount of prep that goes into it is absolutely insane. And to me, that brings a lot of perspective to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep saying 6 months, but it probably was more like 8 to 10 months. That was really where we were like, okay, we're doing this thing, and started working on it. It's been it's been a while.
We have Dubbed Out also says every year has been huge improvements. Reynolds is saying, despite the difficulties and financial situation, do you think we can expect another event, maybe annual, now that Zombie seems to also be annual? That is a question in the chat.
I don't know. I don't really know how to say this, because I'll be honest with you. ZWC2, I said this is the last time I'll do this, and then obviously we did another one.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, if I'm being fully transparent, is that the first 2 events we lost money on, and when I say we, Jose and I put our own money in pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The third event, we know what the costs are. We know what the situation is. And I was like, we were like, the only way we could do this is if we can get a partner and take care of some of those costs.
Yeah.
So that we can try to make this, a profitable business, or even break even would be better than losing money, obviously. And so we found a partner. We found Allied, the HyperX Arena, like, partnered with us, and that made it like, okay, look at this freaking arena. This is like, I don't know how it gets much better than this. And the deal we had with them was really good. To the point where I was like, man, we got to make a decision on this.
True.
I did all the numbers, ran all the numbers, and I'm like, all right, let's go. Third time's a charm. Let's make this happen. The trilogy. Let's make it happen. And the game's better this year. Like last time we did ZWC2, the game was, I think it was World War II.
Yeah.
And it just was not a good time. Not a good time to do it. And I knew that going into it. And I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I want to do another one, but this is just not good. The community is not there right now. And this time I felt like the community was much more there. The game's pretty new. People seem to like Cold War more or less at the moment, right?
Right.
Because when we decided to do it, it was like the game had just come out, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of things were very up in the air about Cold War, for sure.
It was like late October, November timeframe. So, I felt like the community was in a good place. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's make it happen. I'm going all out on this one. I'm giving it everything I got. Third time, we're gonna be able to do it as big and as best we've ever done.
Absolutely.
And we did that. We accomplished all of those goals. But when it comes to talking about a fourth one, the issue is very similar to the challenges. There are so many things you have to consider and work around and figure out, right? Like the venue. I had someone ask the question, can you do another ZWC in Chicago? And I was like, almost guarantee no way, because and if you pick any city in the US or even in the world, pick any city. Okay, here's what I want you to do. This is step number 1 of making a ZWC, or really any esports event.
Yeah.
Pick the city. Don't even have to worry about picking the day yet. Just pick the city. Find me a venue. Once you find a venue you like that actually works, figure out when they're available and how much it costs.
Right.
And then come back to me and tell me. And you are going to be like, yep, we're done. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nope, sorry, it's not happening.
It's the logistics, man. It's crazy. I remember seeing on Twitter.
Alone, it's disgusting. I bet you. I want chat to guess how much you think the venue costs for one day.
Ooh.
Just guess. I may tell you, I may not.
Everybody put your guesses.
I'm just curious what you guys think it is for one day, because it's just like, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd, and that's literally step one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's step one.
Because you know what's funny about that?
Figure out how to do that. It's just affording the venue.
You're mentioning, all the pick any city. I remember seeing polls on Twitter like the day after ZWC ended. So guys, if ZWC4 were to happen, what city would it be in? Miami, like New York, London? It's like, wait a minute, we just got done with the third one. Like, that's why I felt a little bit bad at the event when I was like, just speaking rhetorically about the Die Rise challenge. I'm like, yeah, ZWC4, and you're like, whoa.
Whoa there, buddy. We got some numbers coming here.
Oh yeah.
5K, 15K, 18,999, 20K. Like 20K. All right, these are not bad guesses.
Yeah,
all of them are too low. This is for
one
day.
Wow.
That actually hurts.
One day. Okay, this is one day. The event was 4 days. It was 3 days of actual final and 1 day of tech rehearsal. It was 4 days. All those are too low.
Wow.
You can already do the math.
Yeah,
so,
I mean that's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the venue. For just
the venue. You haven't even gotten players.
Anything else? That doesn't include anything else.
You need the players. You need the games. You need the console. Like, you need all of that.
Yeah. And this is specifically the Vegas one. Now the Vegas one's crazy, right? Like, this Vegas one was way, way crazier than the other ones. But that's my point. Is like, yes, we could do another one. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's very hard for me to say yes to that when it takes as much time, and I don't get stressed very easily. I really don't. But some of these situations, dude, you are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that is the most
understandable.
That's the epitome of that definition. You don't even understand how many times we were like, I don't know how we're going to make this work. I just don't know. Like, we've thought through every option, and I don't know how it's going to work. And it ended up working out all right, but it obviously wasn't the best situation. And this is all behind the scenes stuff, like front facing and what you guys saw, the final product, the tip of the iceberg. I think thrilled with how everything went, but behind the scenes and making decisions and the way things unfolded, like, not everything was perfect. And in fact, I'm frustrated about a couple of the things that happened and the way that things unfolded. And that's why I'm like, it's very hard for me to say yes or commit to doing another one of these. I'm not saying another one won't happen. It's very possible it would happen, because I said last time, they'll never do it again. And then here we go. We did it again.
Right.
But I'm saying now that it would take a hell of a lot for me to commit to doing another one, because it is a commitment of time, of money, of emotion. It's a lot. It's just a lot. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. I chose to do this. This was my decision. I don't regret anything I've done in it. I think it was an amazing, amazing experience. If that was the last one for ZWC, that doesn't mean there can't be other games. I just think for the zombies community, it is proven very difficult to make this financially reasonable to do again.
I can understand that.
And unfortunately, I don't want it to be about money. It's really not about money. But when you're losing money on events, it's very hard to keep doing that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I can definitely get that.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly also because, I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Zombies in itself is a niche, and you're talking about zombies as a niche, and then the competitive aspect is a niche within a niche.
It's also a niche. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, you definitely have to work financially. You don't have a lot to work with in that sense of what's going on, just because of the niches. But financially, obviously the venue is super, super expensive. Then you need the players, and I saw someone in the chat saying, and then you had the 30K prize pool, and it's.
Oh yeah, you do.
Factoring
that.
I didn't even factor that in.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I'm not gonna go super deep into it, but you
get the point.
I gave you I didn't even give you the numbers. You know the prize pool, how much that costs.
Yeah.
And you know that the venue is very expensive. You just do those two numbers, and you're like, man, how?
That is a lot.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
And that's just the surface, dude. Like, yeah.
And there's everything else.
We'll see. I mean, That's the way I want to approach it. Now that I'm a week out, I feel like I can comfortably say it would take something really, really, really undeniably good to get me committed to doing another one.
Totally understandable.
We are working on other. I mean, as A to Z, as a company A to Z, we are working on right now one other event, an NBA 2K event. Similar. It's a very similar format to Zombies.
Jump Off, right? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, Jump Off, exactly. Well, the idea is that Jump Off is ideally is an annual event that has multiple different games. It could be sports games, it could be other games, but probably sports games, but we'll see where that one goes. It's that's a little different because it involves NBA athletes and
nice.
those influencers, and I don't know if that community is any bigger or smaller, but there are some key differences with that event from Zombies specifically that make it more possible to be realistic to continue making them. But we also have never done one of those, so we'll see what happens.
I can definitely see where that could bring forth a lot of avenues of possibility. Like you're saying with the NBA athletes, they can definitely do a lot of promotion for that.
Exactly.
And there's a whole other, the sports world. I think this goes without saying, but I think the NBA world is bigger than the Zombies world. Just because the NBA is, I mean, I like it. It goes without saying, right? So that would definitely put that out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that helps. So there's a lot of different things there.
It's all easier to promote.
We got another question in the chat saying, if Jason's new game at Deviation had a competitive aspect, would Matt consider looking into doing something with that? I mean, that would be interesting. Jason Blundell's new game at Deviation. If it's a competitive game, that'd be cool.
I mean, potentially. The other real question for me personally is, like what is the best use of my time?
Totally.
That is like kind of one of the big questions I've asked myself in the last year and 2 years, because I'm rocking the shirt, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Team Playback is my number one priority right now, and so these events have to really make a lot of sense for me to spend my time on, for me to commit to continue doing them, because every minute I'm spending doing whatever it is I'm doing, I want it to be benefiting what the long-term goal is, which is building this company. And if these events don't in some way benefit or complement that vision, then it's very hard for me to commit to those things. And I do think they have so far. I do think they have added value. Obviously, maybe not as much as I would have liked, but the relationships and things I've learned and people I've met and experiences that I've had, without a doubt, have been valuable. But those are all like intangible values, right? They're not like, it's not like bottom line financial values. So it's at the end of the day, it's like, how do I best spend my time? And that's kind of a question I keep asking myself moving forward. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's possible that Jason's new game, I just don't know. I don't know when that's going to come out. If it comes out 3 years from now, and by no means am I saying that's when it's coming out, I literally have no idea.
Right.
But if it came out in the next 1 to 3 years, it's got to be more than a year. I feel like they just announced or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say it comes out in a couple of years. I really can't tell you where I'll be in 3 years from now.
Right.
That is such a long time. So much can change in even 1 year.
Very true.
It's very possible that I don't know. We'll see. That's an open-ended question. I'm not really sure of yet.
Yeah, you gotta. It all comes down to, at the end of the day, too. You gotta take care of yourself too.
Yeah, what's best for you?
You gotta take care of your time. You gotta take care of what you want to invest yourself in, and it's all about balance. Trying to find that equilibrium between all the things that you want to create, and everyone's balance is different. So it's that's huge. I think that's a very huge concept that a lot of people, I think a lot more people could probably grasp. So. Kingman in the chat. Hey, these guys look like the ZWC3 announcers. Pog. Yeah, big Pog. I wonder why. But you mentioned it briefly before, just there because you said it was mainly your priority there. But to me personally, for someone who has an entertainment background, I think something like Team Playback is something really cool. So for those people in the chat, I know you guys saw the advertisements during ZWC3. But for those of you who might not know, what really is team playback, and what are your guys' goals with team playback? Because like I said, I really like seeing it, and yeah, it's really cool. So go ahead and tell the chat about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So team playback, I started with my brother. It's really first and foremost a production company, and that, like, traditional production company is one side of it, where we'll do like music videos, we'll do a lot of commercials, brand videos. We work with some influencers. We kind of do a whole spectrum of different content when it comes to video production, and that's usually just like creative, where we're coming up with ideas, working on like the creative ahead of time, and then shooting it itself, and then editing and post production. We do all of it as far as video production stuff goes. So think of like I don't know. It's hard to give you guys an example because I think everyone has a different perspective on what a video production company entails, because there's so many different things you can be doing.
Absolutely.
But think like traditional video production, like shooting and editing, and not just videography, but like a team of shooters, editors, producers, directors.
Yeah.
We're trying to build out a whole studio, ideally of a couple dozen people that really can do this on a really big scale. But not necessarily like movies, not necessarily short films. It's much more commercial, I'd say, based right now. I do think at some point we'd like to do narrative, like potentially try to do like a Netflix show of our own, or I mean like Hulu show or something, something narrative. But I think that's definitely a bit down the road. Because we've only been a company for around 2 years, so that's like the primary part of the business. But because of my background on YouTube, we've kind of grown another vertical of the company where we do, which I don't really know what to call it. It's like YouTube management is probably the best way to label it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so and this is what the ad is about, really. It's multiple different things under this umbrella of YouTube management. We have some of our own channels. Like my main channel is now part of Team Playback, even though I haven't uploaded too much. Like we have the podcast channel that I do with JC, and JC obviously is part owner of that podcast as well. But Team Playback is the other owner of that podcast. There's a handful of other channels that no one even knows about that I'm not going to say on this podcast or ever really, but they were running those channels as well with some other partners. And then we also do like true management of other creators' channels. Mostly myself, but I do have some people on the team that are helping me with that. But that's like where some of them we shoot the content for them, edit it for them, and do all of their scheduling, uploads, thumbnails, SEO, tags, like creative, like everything. We do literally their whole YouTube spectrum for them. And then there's some that we just do like post-production, like editing and YouTube management. And then there's some we just do YouTube management for, where they do all of the content on their own. And then we schedule it, we optimize it as best possible. We pick the best title. We work with them on trying to figure out how to make the viewers stay longer. I do a lot of the thumbnails for a lot of those. So we kind of do like it depends on who the client is. But like some of the like recognizable names we have, Tara Lowndes is one that was brought up on the
that's a huge one
specifically. It is, and it's kind of like not a great example now because he hasn't done his podcast in a while. He's working on a new deal. With another company right now, so we haven't had a lot of content come out of his camp in a while, unfortunately. But we have done stuff with him. We work with Austin Eckler, who's another NFL running back. The LA Chargers. We work with Amanda Steele, who's a beauty and fashion YouTuber. She's been around for as long as I have, like 10 years, 12 years on YouTube. She got like 2.8 million subs. I don't even know, something like that. So yeah, we work with a couple notable names, and we're trying to build that business out and take on more clients like that we can help, that just don't have the time to do it, or may not have the ins and outs expertise of YouTube that we do, or even just need a little bit extra hands on deck, whatever it is.
I see.
But we're finding that like the production and YouTube stuff a lot of time go like directly hand in hand, right? Like you make the content. If you want to put it out on your own, like YouTube's the second biggest platform in the world aside from Google. So like most people are going to be putting it on YouTube, even if that's not the main purpose of it. So we're finding that like having that full team that can do everything really well, because we have different people that are really good at each part of it, is is proving to be like a pretty good business model. So that's kind of what Team Playback is right now. Our goals right now are to continue to build out our team this year because we're taking on more clients. We're getting bigger clients, which is awesome. We're growing like pretty quickly considering we just got out of a pandemic. So now we're trying to build out our team to kind of make sure we have the capacity to take on all that new work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something like that, something like a production company of that scale that also helps out in the YouTube side of things is a really great idea, because I think when people, again, we talked about this on this, people see things on the surface and they go, oh, I can just upload my YouTube video and that's easy, all I need to do, right? It's so easy.
No effort. Yeah.
But really,
there's a lot more
when you evolve. When you evolve
there's a lot more.
And you start to grow yourself, you grow your brand, you make more videos, you kind of become your own personal production company until something like this happens where Team Playback can assist you in doing that. And Chavez was asking, hypothetically speaking, if I want you guys to manage my YouTube and help grow, what's that like? And obviously we answered the question. And YouTube, as the years go on, YouTube isn't just a how do I put it? It's not. Hang on, I'm trying to find my words. Okay, I figured it out. Yes.
You got it. Okay.
So YouTube is becoming more and more of a platform for a professional platform where it rivals television, obviously. There's no doubt about that. YouTube rivals Netflix, YouTube rivals Hulu with everything, because there's so much content on there that can be uploaded by anybody. And if you make really good, high quality, good production videos and tutorials, live streams, documentaries, whatever it is,
all that,
you can really compete with an entity like Netflix. So having a team like Team Playback with the knowledge and the know-how to help YouTubers get to that point, for those who are really serious about stepping up their game, and those who are really serious about, hey, I want to take my content and my production value to the next level. So let's get an actual production company backing it.
Yeah, because I think what's very important to note as well is, like, you don't see everything by the surface. Like, when you're making a YouTube video, you think it's like, I'll just upload, right? But when you get into it, it's so many more. It's gameplay, audio, music. You get your video done, rendering it, uploading it, thumbnails, tags, description, titles, so many things. And if you do any of them wrong, it could ruin your video. It could put a bad title.
Yeah.
No one will ever see that. That'll just go into the YouTube ether. It's gone. And I think having something like this, where it takes a lot of the stress to people that just want to make the content and then put it out, and then not have to deal with like the all the other stuff, is a great idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you've nailed it, dude. I mean, and there's always more to learn, but I will say that from when I started YouTube to now, like, it is a system now. It is a game. The algorithm is sadly the most important part of YouTube, I would say. Like, even more than maybe creativity at this point, like, having a good title, a good thumbnail, and making sure that your video is structured in a way where people are going to watch through the video is everything. Because when you have YouTube pushing your videos and it's on your side, it is the most powerful thing you can get. I mean, it can make a small creator become the biggest creator in the world seemingly overnight when you have that kind of power with the search volume that YouTube has. So it's like really important, if you are serious about YouTube, to make sure you understand why you're doing what you're doing. And there are a lot of other guys out there, like a lot of my friends are way better at this than I am. Even I'll be honest and I'll say it, like, we're trying to help creators, but like, there are guys like, if you guys know Top 5 Gaming, Tommy runs that channel, genius at this stuff. Chucky, who works with Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I was about to mention Mr. Beast
is number one, because there's a reason for that. I mean, obviously, like, it's Mr. Beast. His content is pioneering. It's different, and but the strategies that they have, the way that they do the things they do, may seem obvious, but let me tell you, it is meticulous. It is strategic, and they have some of the smartest people working on their stuff, like spending days working on just the thumbnail and title.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it is that important to go from Mr. Beast doing 30+ million views every single video. That doesn't happen without that kind of team. So, like, guys like that, Chucky, Chucky, Tommy are both really smart with it. There's this guy, Patty Galloway on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen him or come across him, follow him. He does like he'll do like videos that are like how Eric got 1 million subscribers in a year, or how David Dobrik beat the algorithm. Like that guy, I've talked to him, super smart. He has a newsletter that gives like tidbits that are like really actually super insightful stuff. The same kind of things that I'm telling our clients or showing our clients or doing for our clients. Like there's a good amount of free information out there, but some of these guys are like the goats at this stuff, and it shows in the content that they have and in the channels that they have that are just like every single channel they touch seems like it succeeds massively because they understand the game. And so I will say that I've gotten contacted from those ads a good amount of times in the last week or so, and I appreciate everyone reaching out. But I will say that if you're watching this, when I say serious about a channel, like you have to be really, really serious about a channel for us to be able to take you on, because unfortunately our team's not huge right now, so we can't take on everyone. We can only take on the people that are, you know, have the most
extremely committed.
Necessarily. That you have to like really be committed. Like you have to be all in on this kind of thing, and be able to afford us being all in on it with you. Because at the end of the day, like this is our, you know, this is a job.
It's a business.
Trying to get paid as well. So the value that we bring to the table, we know what that value is, and you know we're gonna ask for what we know we deserve. And not everyone is on that level yet. That doesn't mean it's never gonna happen. But I like everyone that has been hit me up that's like got a smaller channel, or you know, as an individual creator still and early in their career per se, saying the same thing. And I'll say to anyone now that's listening, figure out a lot of the failures or mistakes on your own. Look for the free information that's already out there, and then once you're at a more serious part of your journey, then contact us and let's talk and figure something out. Because I know a lot of the people, and I've tried it. That's why I know, because I've tried working with smaller creators that are like under 1,000 subscribers or even under 5,000 subscribers that aren't making much money and really can't afford to be paying a team like us to come on and really give it everything we got. But I've tried doing some like free stuff just to see like what kind of impact we could have, and it's hard because not only is it like a, you know, a commitment issue, but like if you are under 5,000 subscribers, give or take, a lot of times the reason you're not past that yet is because you're not committed enough. You're not all in on it enough. And that's just part. I mean, that's just part of it. Obviously, there's like a lot of other factors to it, but like
for sure,
you more often than not, you'll see like people that are it's the mental game. Like starting anything's hard, and then continuing to go when things aren't improving is literally the definition of insanity. So it's very hard to like mentally be like, yeah, I'm getting almost no views, no subscribers, nothing I'm doing seems to be working. Let me keep doing this thing that doesn't work. Seems counterintuitive, but realistically, like you have to keep trial and error, figuring out what works and doesn't work. Keep changing up what you're doing, trying new things, mimicking other channels like Mr. Beast. Go look at his channel, look at all the thumbnails, and figure out what all of them have in common. Figure out why would you click on a thumbnail like this versus someone else's thumbnail that might be very similar. Try to figure those kind of things out. It's important.
Absolutely.
And then try to mimic your thumbnails after the people that are successful. But my other point here is like, once you get to that commitment level and things start moving for you, it'll be really easy for you to say, yo, it's worth hiring someone like Team Playback to help me take it to the next level.
Right.
Because I know I have what it takes, and I'm all in. I'm all in on it. It takes getting to that point for me to really be like wanting to work with you, because the issue is like that I have these other small channels that I've tried. They lose commitment. And it's like, bro, I can't be putting in my time
if you're not going to be in yours.
If you're not even putting in your own time, like you gotta want this. I can't want it for you. I can't want this for you. You need to want this. I think as much as anyone else in the world needs to want it, or it's never going to work. So until you get to that point of like showing that you've already gotten that past that point of like putting everything in, it doesn't really work with smaller creators super well.
And you know, that's the thing with something like Team Playback. I mean, obviously there definitely has to be some sort of balance for everybody to figure out, you know, okay, how can you balance the commitment factor, you know, how much commitment I'm willing to put in, plus, you know, how much am I willing to, work with other people? Because at the end of the day, when you're hiring a production company, everybody has to be on the same page. So if someone's not as committed as the other person, it's not going to work. And there's a lot of the times where a production company like this can help out, where there's a lot of people out there that are under that 1,000 subscriber mark. They're so skilled and so talented, but they maybe they're just not as knowledgeable at the time. And a production company like this can definitely help out. Someone who has the commitment there, this can help them. And of course, you got so many free resources out there that explain everything as well. So at the end of the day, like we were just saying, it all boils down to commitment. It all boils down to how bad do you want it. I like to listen to a lot of country music. So there's this one song by Tim McGraw that I love, and it's literally called "How Bad Do You Want It?" And it's you gotta eat it, sleep it. It's gotta be that thing on your mind all the time, because
all the time.
That is what you're gonna put your time into. That is your job. That is who you want to become, and you really gotta want it. You really, really gotta want it. I mean, there have been so many times where me personally, I've gone on set before, and there've just been other people where you can just tell that they don't want to be there. You can just tell that they're there because maybe it'll make them a little extra, just a little bit of extra money, or they're there because they got nothing else to do, or I don't know. It just you can just tell there's some sort of disconnect.
There's the vibe, the atmosphere. You can tell it.
Yeah, when one person on the crew doesn't have that passion and things like that, the whole thing can get slowed down, and then other people get frustrated, and sometimes it can snowball into chaos. Quite frankly, so. It's definitely commitment, and the individual perseverance is definitely a very important factor, not just in the entertainment world, but everything you do. And I just could not agree more with you, Matt. I mean, it's huge.
Same goes right here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You were right. I mean, there's some really great like Joe Rogan and Gary V, like
I love Gary V
speeches that. Realistically, a lot of the people that are going to be trying to do a YouTube channel are going to work a full-time job still to pay the bills or whatever it is. And that's like the same thing in all of entertainment industry. It's the people that are willing to come home from their 9 to 5 and spend the next 5-6 hours of their day on their passion or hobby.
Yeah.
That is what I mean when I say you're going all in on it.
Right.
You gotta want it, because that is so much easier said than done. You come home from work and you're probably exhausted.
Yeah.
You just want to hang out, relax, watch a movie, play games, have dinner, whatever it is that you want to do. It's just the few people that are willing to put in those another 5 to 8 hours of their day to make that other thing happen and become their full-time job that are going to make it. And it's not just doing it for a day or a week or a month. It will take
constant.
Probably years before you get to where you want to be. Because you're not going to know how to do all the stuff the right way the first time. That's just, you're never going to know how to do it. You can research and look up free information and really learn a whole hell of a lot to, skip some steps and avoid some failures by learning from others. But a lot of time you got to do it yourself to figure it out, to really understand what it is you need to do the right way.
Absolutely.
I think that just takes time, man.
I think experience is very important.
Yeah.
Experience, I can tell you the past 2 years I've done YouTube. You look at my first video, it's cringe, not good. Audio's bad, audio bad, probably 30 FPS, all that, right? And to where, even I've noticed in, the year and a bit I've done YouTube, or how much I've improved, how much I've, picked up on stuff, thumbnails before, I didn't know how to cut stuff out. My thumbnails would be, go on the internet, get PNG, bam, there we go, And then I think experience is just a very important factor, that the people that, go into YouTube I'm, get 1,000 subscribers in a month, get monetized, make money, all that type of stuff. I think it's a shock when they realize it takes a little bit more than, just an idea. You actually have to sit down and do it. And I think for certain people as well, I don't know if, Jason, if you're like this, YouTube's really hard to turn off. Up here, Like, you're doing stuff. It's like it's constant.
Sometimes.
I wake up. I'm like, I wake up. Okay, let's see how the channel's doing today. Let's see how the channel's doing today. You know, you're at work. It's like, okay, let's have a little scroll through, see what's happening there, and then you go home. It's like, okay, what's the next big idea? You know?
Exactly, man. And that's the whole you gotta want it factor. A lot of people will see the daunting task ahead of them, and they're not patient. That's the whole thing. They're not patient, and it's. I don't want to sound like, oh, because it's all the instant gratification is right. But I know there are a lot of people out there, and I know that is a problem that a lot of people face with the instant gratification. That's a whole other topic. But a lot of people are very impatient with. They don't give themselves enough time to grow. They don't give themselves enough time to do it. They just want to do it because they've seen someone else do it. And yes, you can do it because other people have done it. But you have to put in the work. You have to put in the hours. And if you find yourself not really enjoying it, and you find yourself, oh, well, this is not what I expected, and I don't want to do this, then, well, maybe that's not what you want to do. A lot of things too that, and I think, Matt, you've definitely seen some of this stuff before. You mentioned Gary Vee earlier. You're not lazy. You're just unmotivated. You just you don't want to do that thing because it's something you don't like. You don't like it. And even if you have to stick with that thing you don't like for a little while, work your ass off to get yourself into a better situation to where you can like the thing you're doing in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's all boils down to the individual.
I saw a meme the other day. I'd never seen this before, and I was like, wow, this is hilarious. It's like, I don't like working 9 to 5, so now I work 24/7. And it's like such a true, like when you're self-made or you're like self-employed or whatever it is, not even just YouTube or even content creation, like any industry, whether you like make crafts on Etsy or you're a independent chef or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, believe me, dude. 9 to 5. That's definitely not my path, and I don't think I'll ever end up there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do your own thing, man, it's not 9 to 5, bro. If you want to succeed, at least it is. It doesn't really stop. And obviously, I do think it's important that you take breaks and like mentally reset every once in a while because you will burn out if you don't. But it's about as close to 24/7 as possible because, like, for YouTube example, you had a great point, Cosmic. You are always, as soon as the video's up, it's not over. You just finished.
It's just begun.
The creative, the shooting, the editing, the posting.
Right.
That video's done, and you are immediately onto the creative, the shooting, the editing of the next one.
Yeah.
And that cycle kind of never ends on YouTube because the minute you stop posting is the minute you stop growing.
Right.
Yeah. And that's exactly, and my dad's always said that too. He's like, man, like it's a blessing and a curse to have, to be self-employed because you make your own hours, you get to make your own decisions. You're not reporting to anyone. You're out your own boss. But at the same time, the minute you stop going, your whole business stops going.
Right.
And that is a real double-edged sword sometimes. And I think it's funny that we're talking about this because I actually just started a new channel that I haven't talked about a whole lot. It's the Crypto channel.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah, I seen you talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't really. There's reasons why I haven't really talked about it because I got this advice from Chucky. Actually, he's like, dude, don't promote it, don't post the link anywhere, don't shout it out on Twitter, just do it, and you're gonna get the audience from YouTube that you need to get for that channel. Because if you bring your current audience over, they're not going to care about it long term. They'll come with you because they support you and they like you in anything that you do, but they'll subscribe, and then if they don't actually care about it, they will never watch, and that'll actually hurt your channel. I was like, dude, you're right. That's exactly how the algorithm works, and like, it's so hard mentally to get around the fact that you built multiple channels that have almost 1 million subscribers or over 1 million subscribers, and you're in the Z House and you're getting millions of views, and like you have this following. Even if it's not huge at the moment, you have this following, and then you have to go back to literally square one, where you don't want anyone to know what you're doing because you want to get a new audience.
You need that audience to come in artificially. You can't have people who've known you before.
Yeah, organically, yeah, exactly, from YouTube. So I haven't told really anyone. I did mention it once or twice, so there's some people that have come over, but I haven't posted anywhere. But the point I'm making here is like, I'm doing the literal start from nothing again, but now knowing everything that I know, and it is not any easier, dude. Yes, it'll go faster. It won't take me 10 years to get to where I was. If I keep going, I don't think it'll take 10 years to get to 750,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But it is not any easier to start from nothing, because it's a freaking grind, dude. Like,
definitely.
I'm posting the first 10 videos I post get 10 views, and you're like, I'm so accustomed.
Yeah.
To, like, I post a video, and within the first day, it's got 10 to 20,000 views on whatever given channel it is.
Yeah, true.
And now I'm like, did I get a new subscriber today? If I get a new subscriber on that channel, I'm like, let's go. One new subscriber is groundbreaking, because it's, I'm trickling in viewership right now. It's like so slow.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. Like, the point is, it's as much of a grind as if you're starting from scratch for the first time. Absolutely. It is not easy. I can say that without question now, because I've done it on over a dozen channels, and now another brand new, spanking new, no help channel.
Right.
It's hard. You got to stick with it.
Absolutely. It's one of those things too where, it's even though I'm a relatively smaller guy right now, I'm close to 3,000, and I'm grinding on it. The videos are doing well. Like, it's getting to the point now where it's like, oh yeah, I can, at this point for my channel, it's like, oh, it's great to see, a couple hundred views there and here and there. Oh, that one got like 3,000. Oh, that one's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, I mentioned this once on my main channel and on my Twitter. I started a separate one for voiceover, but I only mentioned it once because, like you were saying, obviously that's going to be for the voiceover audience. That's going to be for the people who want to watch that kind of content. I mean, right now the only thing that's up there is on that voiceover channel is my reel, but I'm definitely working on some of the other content.
Behind the scenes.
Not slowly but surely, but it's getting there. But it's like you're saying, it's starting from scratch, and then it's like, oh yeah, a new subscriber on that channel. That means that's someone who's organic to that channel, who likes voiceover. You cross your fingers. Right?
Yeah.
But it's that gratification that that, oh yeah, someone decided to press that button, even though this is such a small channel. It's great.
Exactly.
All of YouTube is, you take a chance so that people can take a chance on you. Yeah. And so it's a very reciprocal kind of transaction in a way, where you give out entertainment, people bring back their support, and it's one of those things where I feel so humbled by it, because you have those people who are willing to go out of their way to watch all the videos, to like all the videos, comment. You have all those people that it blows my mind that people I sometimes get lost for words for this, because it means a lot to me. When I get at a loss for words, it means a lot to me. That's just who I am. And just seeing people just comment and really interact with your content, to really get to know who you are as a creator, that is just an incredible feeling. And just everyone over the past week on the Twitch channel, on the YouTube channel, I've expressed my gratitude as much as I can. I've been trying to reply to everyone's comments. I've been trying to do all that kind of stuff, because I care about this, and I care about everybody, and I'm just really thankful for it all. So it's definitely something that you build a community, and you build that.
Absolutely, yeah.
You build that new sort of atmosphere with whatever you're doing, and it all just, at the end of the day, you got to find your enjoyment out of it, and other people will recognize that you find the enjoyment out of it too. I know I kind of went like 50 different directions there, but I just want to get all those thoughts out, because I just felt like it really needed to be said.
Don't blame you, man. Don't blame you.
Amen. Agree with that all.
So, man, I mean, this was a fantastic episode of the podcast. I mean, this is this is what we love. We love getting people on. We love seeing different perspectives and insights, and especially with all the clarifications and all of the, clearing everything up with ZWC. That was definitely very insightful. That I hope the community can put that to rest now.
Yeah. Hopefully they have a little more insight.
Absolutely.
Definitely gave more insight on this one than I ever have before. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea, of the situation. There's a lot more to talk about too, but pretty good mountain there.
Absolutely. And before we go, obviously, we started this off as a Call of Duty Zombies podcast. Matt, you excited for Mauer Toten?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude, because I've been honest this entire podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have not looked even once. Ooh. I really haven't. Honestly, I'll play it. Mm-hmm. I didn't play Outbreak, but I'll play this map because it's like its own standalone map, right?
Yeah. It's not like Outbreak.
I'll play it. I'll play it when it comes out. I actually hopped on Cold War multiplayer the other day with one of my friends from college. He's been playing. I was like, dude, multiplayer's trash, but I had a lot of fun playing it. So I will definitely play Mauer Toten. When is it coming out?
We think it's gonna come out on the 15th, but Treyarch hasn't really given a confirmation. But I know a lot of people are really, really excited for it, just because there's a whole lot of story implications, and there's something big's supposed to happen with Samantha Maxis, and some of the Black Ops 1 characters. Kravchenko is back, and it's definitely bringing in a lot of the lore from the previous games, which I think is a fantastic idea that Treyarch has decided to do, not just to bring in the lore from the past Black Ops games, but they're bringing some of the lore in from the Modern Warfare games and tying that into the Zombies universe, because obviously there's billions of people on the planet. How are some of those people affected by this whole zombies thing? And so there's intel suggesting, Raul Menendez, he was there and active in some parts of it. When you read some of the intel on the multiplayer map Cartel for Onslaught, and obviously Kravchenko is the leader of Omega, which is the antagonist of this entire Black Ops Cold War zombie storyline. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. It's something I think for the old fans and the new fans to really enjoy.
Awesome. I'll definitely be giving it a play. At least a couple times. Got to see how it is,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been keened in too much on it. I'll wait until there's a date, and then I'll be getting excited for it.
Yeah, I feel that because honestly, Treyarch really has only been putting out just the teasers, like, oh yeah, here's a new piece of paper that gives you more story, and then it kind of gets hyped for a day, and then it's like, okay, whatever. Kind of like,
I'm head out.
Oh yeah, Mule Kick's coming back. Okay, now let's just wait for the map to come out again.
Like, I want the map.
It's like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy sometimes to see all the teasers, and it's fascinating to me where the Zombies community goes with it too. They're like, bro, just drop the map already. Come on,
come on, 4 months. Come on.
It's like,
you can't please them. There's always someone.
And then it comes out
about everything.
Then it comes out after 4 months. Oh, this has been rushed. Oh, it should took another month. Oh, I'm so mad.
Exactly.
Come on. Trash game.
It's
you can't please I can't please them people.
That's why perspective is everything. That's
That's actually hilarious, bro. Put it out already. Oh, it's rushed.
Oh god, it's so bad. Oh, there's only one wonder weapon. Oh.
No one even cared to check this. It's so bugged.
The ones that I find that are really funny is you go on Treyarch's comments on Twitter. Dead game. It's like, no, it's not. Like, come on.
You're going to the video and commenting on it, then it's clearly not a dead game.
Exactly.
Like, that is the most hypocritical thing you could do, is type a comment on a video about a game saying dead game.
Yeah. Because obviously it means something to you, so it's not dead to you.
If you're on the video in the first place, like, clearly
you're clicking on it,
then go on the video. Yeah.
It's like you can choose not to play the game. That's an option.
I think another thing that then people like kind of comment on is like remasters, like anything that's been reused. Like even with with the machine, you have Knacked in for like 5% of the map, and it's like, oh come on, you're reusing assets, come on. And like even with like Firebase Z, it's like you can't believe. I mean, I think Cold War so far has been pretty decent in terms of just maps.
Remember when people complained about the campaign assets being used? Like people saw campaign assets being used and they're like, well, that's just reused. This isn't an original map. It's like, what do you want? It's like the OG Nocturne Toten is literally from the campaign in World at War. Like zombies and other game modes borrow things from other game modes. It's not really that big of a deal. It really isn't, especially if the games are so different. That's why I think if a Zombies Chronicles 2 were to ever happen in Cold War, obviously, number one, people are going to complain that, oh my God, it's just maps we've had before, which...
You could have made new maps, come on.
Which I think all sprouted from the whole Black Ops 4 and how Black Ops 4 was polarizing, because I didn't see anybody complain about Zombies Chronicles coming back in Black Ops 3. I think Black Ops 4 was definitely the Titanic that sank into the bottom of the ocean, figuratively and literally, with Void to Despair on that argument. So I think, number one, you'll have people complaining about, oh, these maps are just old. And number two, you also have people complaining about, oh, yeah, this is just all reused. But then they don't take into consideration that because Cold War is such a different gameplay-oriented game than Black Ops 2, it's going to play so much differently. Die Rise might be enjoyable. Like, you don't
Probably
know.
Not, but who knows?
I mean, you don't know. You really don't know. So people, you got to give it a chance before you start talking shit.
Yeah.
I think you guys are a little new to the scene here. They're always going to talk shit.
Of course.
There will always be someone talking shit.
Of course. I mean...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely... No matter what happens, people are going to definitely talk shit. We have Bubsy Roll in the chat here saying most people just follow what big YouTubers say, and that is where the herd mentality takes place. That can definitely be a factor of it as well. I mean, I know a lot of people like to blame people like Mr. Lexify for being negative about Black Ops 4. And he says negative things about Black Ops 4, and since all the YouTubers hate it, that hurts the game. Well,
people are allowed
to
have their opinions.
Yeah, maybe you have your opinion, and Mr. Lexify can have his opinion on the game, and you go play it, and you make your own opinion. And I guarantee you, a lot of these people, also who are super critical about it, they haven't played the game in a long time either. I guarantee you. Yeah. So it's herd mentality. I definitely see the concern, but at the same time, it's not the YouTuber's fault that the game is dead, or quote unquote dead, right? Or people don't see it as favorably. That's just someone's opinion. So when you see people, obviously Z House and ZWC didn't happen during Black Ops 4 because all the YouTubers didn't like it, and that's I've seen that before, and I'm just going, no, like where do you make that connection?
Well, since I'm like heavily involved in both of those things, I can comment on both of them. Z House has nothing to do with zombies. I know that's that's something that people cannot figure out.
Right?
Yes,
crazy.
Got a Z in the name, Z House.
Right.
And originally it was 5 zombies YouTubers, but believe me, the game had literally zero impact on Z House in terms of whether it happened or not.
No.
ZWC, much more of a factor, but we did it during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to do it for that.
I don't think you could argue that Black Ops 4 is worse than World War II. I mean, personally, I would say that I still think Black Ops 4 is better than World War II.
Same.
Yeah.
For zombies, anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that one goes out the window too. Like we did it during World War II. So we didn't even use World War II.
The worst zombie iteration we've pretty much had.
Yeah, it had nothing. We literally covered the reasons why in this podcast. It had nothing to do with the game. Well, it had something to do with the game, but not enough to like kibosh it. It just was other factors. So
I think a lot of people really get invested too much, I think, in the whole COD cycle, where it's the game, when the game is out, that is like the end all be all for the entire community. This will make or break the entire the zombies community. This will make or break the entire multiplayer community. When they don't take into consideration that there are still going to be millions of other casual players playing that game, number one. And number two, because content creation is such a different breed of entertainment and a different breed of the different sides of gaming in general, you know, they don't take any of that into consideration because they just don't have the perspective on it. They just don't know. Point. They just don't know what's behind the scenes. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm actually recalling back to that one Z House video you guys did back in the second Z House about how the Z House met and all that kind of stuff, with the house being in different locations, and obviously, we wanted it here, but then over here, you know, there's so much that goes into it that I think a lot of people think, oh, we'll just live together. Oh, just live together, make content, make videos, fuck around.
Come on.
That's so easy, right? Yeah. And then it's just not, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's the hard part.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point. It's not the end all be all. There are so many different, like you said, content creation is a huge part of it. DLCs, they're like another good point. Like, this is why I was so hell bent on the viewership part of the challenge choices. Is like the majority of the players are casual players in any game.
Yeah.
The competitive, like hardcore, 1% competitive players are literally like, they're maybe it's even less than 1% that are like the top competitive players, right? Like, it's a very small minority of the community that's playing the game. Like, the people that are playing the game mostly are casual players. So your like niche opinion is valid, but it does not affect everyone else that's playing the game. And there's a lot of other people playing the game for all kinds of different reasons, you know? So,
I mean, you only let it affect you if you want it to. That's what it boils down to as well. Because obviously you're an individual, you have an opinion. You know, you can grasp your own concepts. Mind, you know, it's like you can make up your own opinion and you can make up your own thoughts on a game. So it's definitely, a lot of people I think take it a little too far, and then that's when they start pointing fingers. That's when they start pointing fingers and going, oh yeah, Mr. Delexify is saying negative things about Black Ops 4. That means the entirety of Black Ops 4 is bad, or you know, things like that. You know, we've already covered that. But yeah, it's definitely crazy. It's definitely a crazy atmosphere, the gaming world. But hey, we wouldn't trade it for nothing, right? We're doing something we love to do. Oh shoot, craziness, absolute craziness. I mean, you can also definitely see that. You know, I know we just kind of said some negative things about that side of the community, but in a way you can also take it as a positive, because you have that niche part of the community that is very passionate about what they like to play and what they like to watch. And it's part of that niche, and you could also make the argument for people, well, I'm so critical on this because it's something that I love and I want it to be good and I want it to flourish. So I'm going to be super hard on it because I know it can be better. We all know there's a bunch of YouTubers out there who make videos for that purpose. And I think a lot of criticism for something like SBMM in the game, you know, that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. So I think there's definitely a dichotomy of, you have the negative side who are, they have the kind of anti-commitment in a way where they're negative about it, but then at the same time you have the people who are committed that genuinely want to see the game do well, and everyone just kind of lumped up together in that community, and they gotta share the space in a way, you know.
Yeah
It's hard to weed out the true criticism from just the pure hate.
Yeah, it can be. I personally, I feel bad for some of the developers, you know, at these gaming studios that, you know, a lot of people are just, oh, well, you guys are just terrible because you did this. And most of the time, some of these decisions aren't even developer studio related. A lot of the times, you know, for something like skill-based matchmaking, I believe it was, who I just had the name. He worked at Sledgehammer. I just had his name.
Michael
Condrey, yes.
Yeah.
You know, he was one who confirmed that, oh yeah, you know, having a system like SBMM, you know, that's a publisher decision. You know, that's not on us. So when I see a lot of people complaining about things like that to Vonderhaar or to Foxhound, you know, they can't do anything. Their hands are tied. And I can only imagine as a developer that's heartbreaking to watch and to see all these comments flooding in. So
they're still limited.
My empathy is honestly going towards to the developers, man, because I know they put a lot of hours into it, and it's got to be heartbreaking.
Great point. And I'm sure like JC will have that perspective at some point too.
Yeah.
You know, being on the back end of watching a game being built, like when it's a decision that's out of your hands entirely and you're getting the heat for it, like I feel really shitty for those people.
Yeah.
Especially when they poured their heart and soul into a a creative product. So
yeah.
Great points, dude. Honestly, great points, Jason.
I appreciate that. And I think someone like JC, because he's such a community-oriented guy, such a nice guy, that I think someone like him, he'll be able to handle a lot of that heat just because of the guy he is.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, I met him at ZWC, and he just comes across in real life like he does on his streams, like such a very genuine, kind-hearted individual that I think no matter the kind of hate comments that he'll get, he'll still reply with as much with as much loving care, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. Oh, well, we're sorry to hear that you're unsatisfied, but we're working on it, smiley face. Like, he'll definitely bring some of that positivity to that. I think, at least from what I've talked to him, and he seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah, it's definitely that's JC, dude. Genuine guy. I'm interested to see how he responds to hate.
Yeah,
that's funny. He's like, we're sorry to hear about your issues.
Yeah, like that's
to help.
That's the kind of guy he strikes me as.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna see, right? So.
Yeah, since he's seen it all. He's seen all the negativity that sometimes the zombies community puts forward. So I think he'll definitely be well prepared for his role at Deviation Games. And I wish him nothing but the best.
After that, this will be a breeze for him.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's crazy world we live in. It's like I always say this at the end of all my videos. Have a great day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world, because it is a crazy world. You got a bunch of different people, a bunch of different perspectives, and it's all about trying to figure it out for yourself and doing something that feels right for you. See, who was I the most excited to meet at ZWC? Honestly, just everybody. Like, I've talked to so many of these guys for so long online, and watching their videos too, and a lot of these people being influences. Like, I know Matt, you were definitely an influence on me for, watching the Z House videos. That was one of those things that got my gears turning and going, oh shit, that's insane. People like Noah J, I met Noah J at ZWC. He's also a really nice guy. Just a bunch of other people in the community like Greg FPS and Legend, and seeing the competitors like Zombie Dog. I mean, just meeting everybody at ZWC was a fantastic experience, and I just really can't narrow it down to one specific person, because there are so many people in this community that I just have a huge appreciation for, that I can confidently say that most of them, if not all of them, are my friends now, which is something that I just love. So I hope that answers your question there, chat. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was kind of cool walking into the arena for the first time and being like, oh yeah, I'm here with Matt and Jose, and like we're doing it now. Like, this is it. Like, we're gonna get the ball rolling now. Kickoff is about to happen, So it was great.
Dude. Definitely cool experience.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, that guy Slade with the
oh man,
Thunder Gun and the Nikolai cosplay, nuts, crazy dude.
Right,
I love it.
Cool.
He that guy's nuts. Hold on. We went to the casino after one of the nights, and he was there with us. It was like 3 a.m. and Bruno Mars comes on the speakers at the casino, like they're just playing music. This dude has unreal dance moves.
Oh.
Like, unbelievable dance moves. Like, he's moonwalking across the floor, like the carpet floor on the casino. was like, dude, what can't you do? Like, you got all this amazing cosplay you're doing for the event. He's got like, he had the Chronorium with all these like super cool sketches with each person's logo in there, and like, he made props with Chris, and this guy breaks out in a dance. I'm like, this guy he's nuts. Like, what does this guy not do?
True.
Wow, he was cool. He's really cool.
It was especially insane to learn about the backstory of how he made the Chronorium. I mean, I'd definitely love to get him on the show so he can go more in depth into that. But essentially, it was all handcrafted. The leather work, the page binding, like everything. Like he made a book. He made it from scratch. Which, yeah, what can't he do? Like you were saying. Right. So, insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nuts, dude. There were some really creative people at that event. Mm-hmm. Some seriously cool people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the perk canisters, 2 Juggernog fridges, the wave guns and the ray gun, mystery box, monkey bomb. I mean, an entire zombies map was shoved into that corner of the arena there, and you just walked into zombie land over there, and it was just, you see a bunch of different things, so it's definitely really crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, guys, well, this was a fantastic episode of the podcast today. I just want to say thank you so much to Matt for coming on the show, giving us some insight on Zombies World Championship, and just having a great time talking to us about content creation, production, and just everything in general. So, well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Dude, thank you guys for having me. It was great. I had a lot of fun. I think it gave a lot of insight into zombie stuff, and had some really good conversations as far as content creation goes. Definitely some valuable stuff in here, so appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, it's our pleasure. We definitely would like to have you on again in the future for sure. And
let's do it.
I can double that.
Oh yeah, it was great.
In the future, we'll do it again.
Hell yeah. Do you guys have any other kind of closing thoughts before we end out today?
I'm all good.
How about you, Cosmic?
Just thank you, Matt, for coming on. A great episode, and we talked about a lot of great things.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, everybody, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part? Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Hey, you know what? It's bound to happen at some point, right?
Let us know what your favorite fart was, please.
Yeah, was it Jason's, Matt's, or Kyle's?
Yeah, whose favorite fart?
Who's your favorite fart? But they have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. Don't forget to check out our Discord server and the merch. I'll link down below in the description. And we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.